Chinese Thai people around the country have already started to buy their goods, preparing for the Chinese New Year, and they're finding that the price of food has risen since late last year. Meanwhile, many people visiting Chinese temples just to pray for good luck as well. Suvarnabhumi Airport, tourists and passengers are offered oranges for good fortune and prosperity, according to Chinese beliefs. The airport is getting ready to welcome Chinese passengers celebrating New Year this weekend. Authorities say that they have increased security to ensure the safety of New Year revelers. The closer it gets to Chinese New Year, the livelier it gets at Jon Mae Lim Kaw Nieo, the famous Chinese temple in Pattani province. It has become a ritual for Chinese Thais and Malays to visit and worship this temple during the Chinese New Year. Meanwhile, Hat Yai district of Songkhla province and Satun province, it was business as usual with an increasingly upbeat atmosphere as people have started to shop for food. Many customers have already placed advance orders for popular traditional New Year food like pork, chicken, and duck. Similar to places in the northern region, shop owners are preparing to sell traditional items of food to offer to their ancestor spirits. This year's food prices have increased compared to last year. Prices of popular fruits such as oranges, bananas, and dragon fruit are twice expensive due to the climate change. Meanwhile, authorities in Chiang Mai municipality have started to inspect fresh markets to prevent the sale of contaminated food, but so far nothing unpleasant has been found. Up in Chiang Rai province, provided the Chinese cultural show for students to learn and understand Chinese language and culture. Up in the northeast, northeastern provinces and the central area are decorated to celebrate the Chinese New Year. While Sawang Chit Tham Sathan Chinese Shrine and Foundation inศรีสะเกษ province has cleaned and renovated ready to welcome visitors over this weekend. And while many embassies in Bangkok, including the U.S. Embassy, have not yet lifted their warnings about potential terrorist attacks, an international relations expert from Chulalongkorn University says that the chances of Thailand falling victim to terrorist attack is now very low. Here's Associate Professor Panithan Wathayayakon.
The chance for Thailand or for Bangkok to be attacked by terrorist groups right now seem to be reduced somewhat, simply because the warning is now well received by several units and by the public in general. That is the general rule. Once you have a better defense or preventive measures, or at least the public is informed, they will be on the lookout. So most terrorists will not take this opportunity to engage in those activities. But of course, the chance is not going away. We need to move forward to proceed to arrest the remaining suspects that are still at large. That's number one. Number two, of course, we need to work together with our allies in a much more closer fashion to make sure that we have a concerted effort to contain terrorism. And of course, in the end, we need to explain and boost the morale and confidence of our friends and Thai citizens in general to make sure that we are not perceived as a target. The arrest or the content of the one person may not be satisfactory to the United States and other countries at this time. So in order for the U.S. to lift the warning, I think the further progress should be done in terms of identifying the remaining suspects, whether or not they are already left the country or whether or not they are still at large. And this is the work that the Thai police must do very soon.
In a related matter today, a Swedish online newspaper, Aftonbladet, reported that artist Hussein, the Lebanese-born terror suspect arrested in Thailand, who is also holding a Swedish passport, says that he is innocent, claiming that he was set up by Mossad, which is the Israeli intelligence service. NationMultimedia.com stated that artist told the Swedish newspaper that a lot of the material police found in his storage facility had been placed there, most likely to be by the intelligence service of the Israeli state. He admits that he buys goods in Asia and exports them to other countries, including Lebanon, but claimed that he had never traded fertilizer, which is a bomb-making substance which police have found in his warehouse in Samut Sakhon province. Meanwhile, today, U.S. Senator John McCain had a talk with Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra on a variety of issues, including security. However, it has not been confirmed what the main purpose of his visit was today. Former U.S. President candidate John McCain visited Government House today and met with Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. The two talked behind closed doors. After the meeting, Senator McCain told the press that he continues to praise Thailand to be one of the 5 top allies of the U.S. in this region. He adds that the recent warning of possible terrorist attacks issued by the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok had no intention of harming the Thai economy or tourist sectors.
Did you discuss with the Prime Minister about the recent terror warning in Thailand by the U.S.?
Yes, we did. And we understand that this is a threat that is being addressed in cooperation between the United States and Thailand. It calls for heightened awareness, but we, being here, feel that that we are in a safe and secure environment.
Did the Prime Minister ask you, the U.S. all force you to lift the warning?
No, she did not, but I would point out the warning really does not affect anything in our relations, including tourism or other businesses here. All it means is that we want everyone to have heightened awareness.
He also added that he shared his condolences with the Thai Prime Minister following the worst flood in Thailand's history. And moving on, the Thai government earlier revealed its master water management plan to the public. Meanwhile, President of the Japan External Trade Organization, or JETRO, said that Japanese investors would like to see the implementation of the water prevention plan as soon as possible. Here's Dr. Rungtip Chonaphalai with more.
During the flood crisis of late 2011, 7 industrial zones in central Thailand were inundated. Owing to their high level of investment in Thailand, Japanese investors were especially badly affected by the floods. However, it has been said that in every crisis there is an opportunity. Japanese technology firm Canon's factories in Ayutthaya were damaged by the floods. Yet today, Canon Prajinburi has signed an MOU to invest 15,000 million yen at Industrial Park in Prajinburi. Canon has the confidence to invest in Thailand because the location in Prajinburi has many strategic advantages, including no risk of flooding, location, BOI incentives, and good infrastructures. The president of Japan External Trade Organization, or JETRO, says that some factories are not yet able to restart their operations and some postponing further investment. Therefore, Japanese investors would like to see the implementation of a viable flood prevention plan in Thailand.
Companies have been damaged by the flood, so some may go out, but more may come. So in total, I hope we'll see more investment from Japan to Thailand. And many companies want to see the implementation of the various measures in the near future.
Meanwhile, the Thai government has presented the master plan for flood prevention to the public with the hope of restoring confidence among foreign investors.
Now it's time to do it, and very immediately the 12.6 billion baht budget will be spent in those fixing the hardware and try to improve the management system in the early days, so that this coming rainy season, which we all know that would start as early as late May, early June, I confirm to you that Thailand will be very safe. By suffering with the problem in 2011, it doesn't mean that we are not safe, because we're not sitting still, and we will invest into the system both in the temporary and short-term stage.
Japanese businesses have been Thailand's foremost investors. The flood severely affected Japan's economy. The new investment in Thailand by many manufacturers is crucial to the recovery of the benefit and confidence of Thailand as a production base. This is increasingly important as the ASEAN economic community is imminent and competition to attract foreign investment is bound to increase. Rungtip Chonapalai reporting for Thai PBS.
The Prime Minister admitted today that insufficient management and insufficient budget were the reasons behind last year's floods. Meanwhile, the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center says the government must start with the 7 measures the ADPC has suggested in order to save the capital from future inundation. Pichit Ratakun, who is the director of the Asian Disaster Preparedness Center, or ADPC, says making canals across Bangkok wider and deeper is top priority. Mahasawat, Pasir Charoen, Thawi Wathana, San Sap, Prawet, Burirom, and Repipat are some of the canals needed to be improved. Main roads within Bangkok must also be leveled to protect them from being flooded. Thirdly, sufficient water pumps must be distributed to all flood-prone areas. A think tank center is also required to be the information gathering center. Meanwhile, a special task unit must have enough staff to assist in evacuation. More gambling or the water retention basins are needed around the capital city as well. Pichit, who is a former Bangkok governor, says that the changing climate makes it difficult for scientists and authorities to predict when the rain and floods will arrive. The government must not neglect this fact. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister had a meeting this morning with the Strategic Committee for Water Resources Management today, saying that insufficient budget and ineffective management are the reasons behind the 2011 floods. The Prime Minister says the government plans to effectively manage water, starting with the first drop of rain in the coming rainy season. She adds the government's priority is to protect the country's economic and residential areas, where flood waters affected around 4.2 million homes last year. Forestation is part of the longer-term measures to prevent the floods, and 1.7 billion baht will be spent to build more dams, floodways, dikes, and on bringing back investors' confidence. Last year's total economic loss was estimated at 1.42 trillion baht. And now that the cabinet reshuffle has been completed, Dr. Rungtip Chonapalai sat down with the former dean of the Faculty of Economics at Chulalongkorn University, who expressed concern about the role of the Ministry of Finance, especially relating to the handling of the emergency decree to transfer debt to the Bank of Thailand.
The 111 previous politicians are still being banned politically. They don't have many choices. And they bring in less technocrat than what I deem it necessary. They could have more technocrat. I don't know why, but I feel that it's a double-edged sword. It can be a dilemma, like you change the minister. To me, the former Minister of Finance, Kun Chirachai, you have to admit that he is the one who tried to stop some improper decision, like trying to force the Bank of Thailand,
right,
okay, to bring the asset. Something like that.
Concerning this issue,
without knowing that the asset also has liability, right, so on and so forth.
Following the massive floods of late 2011, the number of blood donors making their way to the Red Cross has dropped dramatically, and now that many hospitals have started stockpiling blood following warnings of terrorist activities, the Red Cross's blood bank is running very low. Dr. Ubonwan Charunrinrit, Deputy Director of the Thai Red Cross Society's Blood Bank, tells Thai PBS that the quantity of donated blood is insufficient. Normally, the Red Cross should have 1,600 units of blood in store. The current number is 1,200. Dr. Ubonwan says the massive flood last year meant a massive drop in blood donors. Now that everything has returned to normal, she is appealing to all eligible donors to donate urgently to help the Red Cross rebuild their vital blood supply reserve. For more details, please do visit worldwideweb.redcross.or.th. And now Thai PBS English News Service is recruiting more staff in the English-speaking news reporter position. So those of you who are interested, please do email us at engnews@thaipbs.or.th and we will reply you with the job description and the details of this position. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Supachon Klinsawan. Sawasdee krap.